welcome in everyone to episode 98 of the Battlecast podcast. I'm your host, Caleb Peng, fresh back from Portland, Oregon, where it was a little bit weird, and joined by my co-host, Speedy Chief 2.
How's it going, Caleb? Dude, Portland looked like fun, man. I heard it was. I heard there was something in the air.
There's things I just cannot talk about, but yeah, there were things in the air too. There's some funky smells, but it was a fun time. We had a great tournament there too. But today we got a very special podcast. First time ever. We actually have two guests on at the same time. So if you're watching the YouTube version, you definitely, or if you're not watching the YouTube version, I should say, you definitely want to stop by and see who we got here. But we dropped a hint last time around that one of our guests has been on the podcast before, and it's none other than PolymersUp, one of our first ever guests, the actual designer of our logo for the Battlecast podcast too. Yes. And we're also joined by Anicor, who is also here, our second guest here. How are you guys doing?
Good. Happy to be here.
Yeah. You know, before we get too much into business here too, I mean, I feel like this is kind of the first time full PolymersUp face reveal.
I was just gonna say, yeah.
It's
pretty cool.
I'm kind of disappointed because I planned on like the first time meeting Speedy that I would go up to him and say, you know, like, I'm Squirrel Trapper, nice to meet
you. Pretty much.
Dude, that'd be so good. Yeah, I mean, you made a face appearance in Knoxville at the regional, but
I did.
Yeah, we had masks back on, you know, so it's possible that whatever stock photo guy we have a photo of you of is still you, but you know, I think Nightwing did pretty good. Nightwing did pretty good for randomly guessing what he might look like.
Oh my goodness.
You know what? Despite the appearance at regional, I still thought it was the stock photo.
Like, when did you realize it wasn't the stock photo? Well, Yeah. Well, someone give a little background, or maybe Poly, give us a background on the stock photo thing first for anyone that doesn't know.
And then,
So I mean, realized it.
What do they call them? Like a no cam Andy. I've been that like for most of PvP, and then I think when I did ADL, you know, everybody does the headshots, and so I was talking with Nightwing. I asked him if it was cool when my first season of ADL, Aero Draft League, if I could just use my Sableye PFP, and he said, "Oh yeah, sure, that's fine," you know. And then the draft stream, which was live, he surprised me. He had like grabbed this random stock photo of this of this guy, and it was really funny. And so I just leaned into the meme, just made my Discord profile picture that, and so it's been that way ever since.
I reverse searched image that photo too and found a whole load of this guy doing the randomest stuff. And then when I told Paul, he's like, "Hey, can you send me some of those files?" And I dropped him like 38 photos of this random stock.
Dude,
photo
even
other stuff.
even recently, there's a picture of that guy that somebody just randomly posted, and then Polymers like took that and made that his profile picture.
So that's actually when Anicor found out.
That was when I found out, because he
changed
he's just like
to the Ross model.
Yeah, he posted the picture, and I was a bit like, I don't really get the joke, but also like, I didn't know you were a model, you know, like. I was like, wow, what are the chances that someone sees your face, like, you know, in the middle of nowhere? Like, did you give them permission?
Wait, that's wild. So you just found out that's not who he was. That was literally like a week or two ago.
I didn't even think to tell him, or that's the weird part, you know, like I just don't even think like. It doesn't even cross my mind, like who knows and who doesn't. Shout out to Tiny for taking that photo of the model at Ross. Spotting my profile pics.
Dude, we haven't heard from Tiny in months, but that's quite the way to come back into the scene.
I know, right?
Anyway, okay. Well, let's just go around and just introduce yourselves on. We won't talk about the DracoViz part yet, but just. Tell us about your background, Pokemon Go, Pokemon in general, Pokemon Go PvP. I know Poly had a whole podcast about him, but maybe a little refresh for those that didn't hear that episode. That episode was probably from like back in 2021, actually. But let's start off with Anicor here, and then we'll go to Poly.
So I'm Anicor. I was like most people started the game like in 2016, and then I left it after they stopped. You know, like the Pokemon tracking. Where it had like
the footsteps.
Yeah. Right, that was amazing, innit? Yeah. And then when that was gone, I was like, you know, and I got back into it over COVID. And at first it was just collecting. Then I found out they had PvP. And me and my brother got really, really into it. And in our first year of like competitively playing, we both did like relatively well. I think he hit like elite on Sylph, and I qualified for a regional. So it was that really exciting. Then Play Pokemon happened. And honestly, at that point, like the game wasn't that great. So, you know, I was like kind of considering stopping. But like when all the Play Pokemon events started, I went to Liverpool, the first event. And even though it was like quite small and everything, I could almost see like the potential of what this could be if it carried on, you know? And ever since then, like, bruv, I literally treat regionals as if they're like sporting events, you know, like every time there's a regional, I'm like ready. I got my snacks ready, you know, like I really get into it. So, yeah, a lot of what I do now is just like really revolved around that.
Wow. Okay. I heard a little spoiler from Poly earlier today too. We're just catching up, and he said you didn't sleep much for the Brazilian one because you're up.
Oh, bro.
The time zones are quite wild, right? You're all the way in Australia.
Yeah. I mean, you know what? I think I slept a bit more than Poly did, to be honest, in it, because this guy was like last thing at night working, and then like first thing in the morning we were just like yo, like the teams were dropped, you know. So I think he put in a lot more work that weekend, but yeah.
All right. Were you at the first EUIC or no? Because you were in the UK at the time. Right?
No. So you know what? Yeah, like I also really choose the worst moments to like go traveling, and so I'd actually started traveling around like just after Liverpool, and pretty much missed the entire season of regionals. And then I came back, and I mean, I made it for Worlds, so that was fine. But,
okay.
It wasn't the best timing.
Yeah, I was talking to Anicor while you two were joining the call, Speedy and Poly, but yeah, Anicor was at OCIC, and as well as it Sydney after? It was a region after that.
Yeah.
You were at this. I remember you were competing at the Sydney one too.
Yeah.
Nice.
Yeah,
that's awesome.
That's cool.
Heck yeah, small world, kind of.
Well, no, really.
I mean, he's not as far as it gets for us, but
I know. Right?
I guess fast planes, we should say.
No, I've been hounding Poly for teams and information with these APEC regionals that have been going on, and I was like, how does he get all this information so quickly? And I was like, Anicor over there.
Yeah,
I mean, I still think
hustling, yeah.
I don't know if the time zone really makes a difference for that either, but let's say yeah, you know.
Yeah, dude, yeah. Okay, well, let's talk about Poly first before we go into the work you all have been working on recently.
Oh man, yeah, I've been in PvP for a while. I mean, Caleb and I used to be locals, right, in Atlanta.
Mm-hmm. We used to. I remember our first scrims. It was an Ultra League. I brought like a Raikou and like a Metagross, and he had like he had the Blastoise. He had something that was like destroying me.
We were convinced that Ultra League was going to be the meta that all competitive stuff was. Like the first Pokemon I remember building for PvP was like a Blastoise. I had like a 96% Blastoise, and I just maxed it. I was like, this is where it's going to be at, you know? And then, yeah, obviously it didn't work out that way. Great League. Great League's a lot of fun, has a lot of diversity. But yeah, been... like started posting on Sylpharina Reddit, you know, like way back when Sylph started coming out with cups, like was really active in, you know, Sylph during the early seasons, and still help out on the meta team. Although I don't compete as much. I compete in factions. Factions is a lot of fun on Cool Cats with Caleb, as well as a lot of our other teammates. And then, yeah, I mean, in terms of content, you know, I did a lot of stuff for Ghost Stadium for a very long time. It was a great team there. You know, we did a lot of cool stuff together. Yeah, so proud of all the stuff we did together, and now we're doing this new project and excited about it. So
yeah, I mean, for those that don't know, too, Poly's always been a data guy. I mean, even outside of Pokemon Go. But when we started, he would drop me these like Google spreadsheets and be like, "Yo, like, just keep this between us, right? I don't even know what it was. I was like, it must have been like different like shield. It was like before PV Poke was around, actually, I think.
This is
Or
like
PV Poke
Twilight
was,
Cup, man.
yeah. And he'd be showing me the different matchups, like who wins what shield scenarios and whatever, blah blah. Maybe PV Poke just dropped, but he was like hand
It
doing
did
all the
drop, yeah.
simulations.
I was
Yeah.
basically doing like those matrix spreadsheets.
Yeah,
Some
matrix
people,
spreadsheets. And I
you
like
know,
he shared
started
it with me.
to
He's
do
like,
more
yo, just don't
complicated.
share it with anyone. I was like, dude, honestly, like I appreciate you sharing this with me, but I don't know what this means. Like I'm just gonna just play. Like I just don't know. He used to be a big meta guy too. He doubted all spice until I ran Lugia.
True.
These days he does run more spice, but
Oh yeah.
maybe more spice than me. But yeah, okay. So anyway, for those that don't know, what is DracoViz? Like, tell us about the origins. Tell us about the origins of the name too, because I don't know if Anicor knows this, but Poly like asked me about the name when they were coming up with the idea,
Oh,
and I was
man.
like, "What the heck is DracoViz?" Right? So tell us about that.
Dude. Yeah, I feel like just before you guys jump in, I feel like even if Caleb, he has his Pokemon career, he might have a reality TV career coming up here soon. We'll see. His third career could probably be in branding, because in
Right.
branding and even like politics, because he was trying to sell me. He's like, it should be called this. It makes no sense that it's called this. It should be called the other thing. So there was this huge debate.
I used to want to be a politician, actually, like a couple years ago. I thought about
wow.
it, but it's campaigning's hard. It's not.
That's
really
true.
for me.
Caleb for Congress. I'm down.
Let's start with local government. But yeah.
Yeah. But how did it's just one of those sort of chance things that happened. So like another one of the people that are sort of integral to, like, that's really a small team of people. But Shiny Dialga, 45, I just call him Shiny, but he's this awesome guy. He's a web developer. He does a lot of stuff, and he had like built out like these tables and started like doing like some of these pages that he was hosting. And so he reached out to me, and I was like, man, these are awesome. These tables that he had going. This is basically the matchup tables that we have like on the site now. Where it has, for each event, it has like the win-loss record, it has the rank, it has the teams. And the coolest part to me was like the See Games tab, where you sort of click that and it sort of drops down like this list of like all the matchups. So you can sort of see, for, I think in the video that we dropped on the website announcement, I clicked on Nessa Bathan, and you can sort of see like all the matchups he had faced, like round 1 through round, I forget whether 7 or 9, but you could see all those teams. Like, it's something that was sort of, not really, I mean, no Play Pokemon site has that, but honestly, not even Sylph has that, right? Like, Sylph doesn't. I remember like going back, looking at Sylph teams, and I was trying to figure out like, wait, how did they win with this team? Did they not face X Pokemon, like in this meta? And I'd like go back and forth between like the bracket and the team sheet on Sylph's site, so I don't know. I thought it was really clever, and it was really cool because, just to be able to see in one screenshot, all the teams that player faced in their run, and so, I mean, that's kind of how it started. And I was like, hey, we could do some really cool stuff with this. I'd kind of been, thinking about getting back into doing some more usage and performance stuff. Had some ideas on like other ways to do like some data visualization, but I hadn't really had like the motivation, I guess, to really get back in. And so when I saw what he had, and I was like, oh, this is actually really cool and would be a huge asset to the community. So that's kind of how it started. And about the name, right, Draco?
Yeah.
So
break down the name origins.
Oh man, I don't even know if I should.
That just came from like someone in the team was just like, okay, look, we need to think of a name, right? And they were like, okay, try and integrate it into like, I think it was like Viz, data, chart, something like that. One of my favorite draft names that accidentally came out of that was Rat Data.
Rat Data?
Which like written down, like the, it like looked like, oh yeah, this is a play on Rattata, isn't it? Yeah. But
Oh.
But when you say it, right?
Well, okay, so that makes sense because it's Generation 1, right? The problem is DracoViz is referring to something that's not in Pokemon Go yet, and I feel like a lot of our Pokemon Go people, I don't know about you two, but me and Speedy, we didn't get past Generation 2 until recently when we played Scarlet and Violet. So
3. I'm on 3.
Yeah, 3. Yeah. I don't know how far did you make it in the main series game if you played it Anicor?
Well, I never had a Game Boy when I was younger, so I only ever played 3 on an emulator, and then later on 7 on a DS, and then I played a bit of like Sword and Shield, but like not that much.
Gotcha. Yeah. So did you know what the name meant? What DracoViz was referred to? Oh, you did. Okay.
Yeah.
Well, explain to people that don't know, because that's probably
right. Yeah. So it's like it's a Pokemon from Sword and Shield called DracoViz. And I think like it is a pretty popular. I think in the anime as well, it's like one of Ash's main Pokemon recently. I think that's the case. And also when it was when there was a certain rule set of VGC. So I used to follow VGC quite a lot. When there was a certain rule set of VGC, it was like one of the top Pokemon. You know?
Okay.
So yeah, I guess I sort of assumed that a lot of people in there. But it also sounds cool as well. So. Do you know what I mean? Innit? Even if you don't really know what it is, it's like,
that so DracoViz is the Pokemon. DracoViz is a spin on it. Viz short for visualization.
Yeah.
All right. Did they tell you about my name suggestion, Anicor?
I don't know if I dropped it.
So because Poly was literally just telling me about this, website idea. I was like, I mean, yeah, it could be cool, but like we need a name, right? And we're like going through all this stuff. And I said, like, what about like, so I'll start making a spin on like Draco Meteor. So what if we do like Dracometrics, right? I was like, Dracometrics, like, sounds pretty good, right? Dude,
I'm not gonna lie, like
it's pretty good, right? That's what I'm saying.
Don't do this to me, Anicor. Don't do this.
I told, see, Anicor doesn't know because he joined the team later, which is why I was just like, dude, he doesn't even know what it could have been. And and Poly comes back to me. He's like, yeah, I don't know. Me and some of the guys who talk about name, we're gonna go with DracoViz. I was like, no, don't go with DracoViz. I was like, Dracometrics. Like, you need to ask more people than just like whoever the 2, 3, whatever people you're working with. And he's like, no, it's too late. We already bought the domain name. I was like, no. And I looked it up, and he like already did. I was like, dude, like just I'll pay you like $20 or whatever to pay for that month's domain name and just get a new one, right? Like. Dracometrics, man. I'm just saying, hey, if a competitor comes around with Dracometrics, they'll say I didn't warn you, right?
Speedy, when you hear Dracometrics, does that sound like an obvious play on Draco Meteor? Like, it just doesn't to me. I don't know. It sounds like Dragon stats.
I don't know. I mean, you got the Draco, you got the Draco, and then the M, which is the first letter of Meteor. So like, it's there.
The logo could be like the Draco Meteor animation, right? Like a bunch of meteors come down. Maybe with like data inside the meteors. Dude, there's a lot you could have done here.
Yeah, dude,
Maybe this can be our like offshoot site.
Yeah. Anicor's like, I'm about to split off and do my own thing.
Sorry, G.
I'll tell you, I don't know where we were, Caleb, but I think we were walking through an airport or something, but you were just like on this for like 20 minutes,
dude, I was
telling me how important this should be. And I was like,
right. Well, okay, what I feel like we know Anicor's response. What about you? What would you say? DracoViz or Dracometrics?
Me or Poly?
Yeah, you. I know what Poly.
Oh, dude,
come on, Speedy.
Dude, okay. So you know how some names you read and they just stick instantly, right? Yeah. DracoViz was not one of those names for me. I had to read it like 4 or 5 times, and then I was like, all right, now I remember. But no, I got it. Now I'm stuck with DracoViz, though, so it's fine.
It's a great intro into the community, isn't it?
Dude, I was right. What a way to stick it. I was listening to BTW podcast. They cover PP stuff as well. And I told Poly this part, but I was like, hey, they gave you all a shout out, a DracoViz a shout out because they saw you all tweeting about, you all were covering stuff about the Indian qualifiers as well as the Taiwan qualifiers and just their episode talking about it. But the host definitely did not pronounce DracoViz right. He said like DracoViz or something like that. But, like, he said something wrong. Like I can't really say it. But I was just like, hey, they gave a shout out, but they also pronounced it wrong. You should have gone with Dracometrics. I wouldn't have done that. But anyway, that's okay. It's the brand is what it is. But yeah, so you all
Don't sound
launched.
so disappointed.
Don't say I didn't.
It is
tell
what
you.
it is.
I know,
Yeah, it is what
yeah.
it is.
I've been saying it, but yeah. So you all, when did you all launch, and kind of like what have you all been covering since the launch? I know Anicor also joined a little bit later, but still relatively early,
Mhm.
right, in the project.
Yeah, we started with graphics,
Mhm.
we just wanted to get involved, and sort of start. I mean, we had, a good amount of data, we were just sort of slowly working on the website, and trying to, hit some, like milestones that we wanted to hit before launching. And then, yeah, and so we started with graphics and then we launched the website May 2nd, if I remember correctly. So,
Hmm.
it's been out for about a week. And, yeah, I mean, we've got like team, full teams for all the events up there, matchups, records. We have player lists. We have usage data. It's interactive charts, performance data up there too. Also interactive charts. We have event schedules, like all the links. So yeah, we try to put all the information that you'd want.
Mhm.
That you'd be looking for around these play Pokemon events all in one place.
Yeah. So we usually ask this in the end, but I feel like for those who are listening to the podcast, I want to check it out mid podcast. Like what? So the website is just DracoViz.com, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then you also have a Twitter. Is it just same thing, DracoViz on Twitter?
Yeah.
Yep,
Okay.
that's right.
Cool.
Yeah.
So for those that want to check it out, I mean, the Twitter and the website info. I mean, there's like there's like overlap, but like it looks quite different too. So you could definitely take a look at like a bunch of different things, not just like you don't get everything from the website, you don't get everything from the Twitter, right? So you can
Yeah.
see a bunch of cool stuff too.
So, Paulie, you pointed out that your main mission was just to take all these data points and actually present them in a way that people could actually consume. So, either one of you guys want to answer this. My question for you is, who is DracoViz for? Is it for the players? Is it for casters? Is it for, I don't know. I mean, I guess it's one of the two, right? Or is it for both or for
In my
everybody?
opinion, for me, I think it's for everybody, right? Because I think every time we like either think of a new feature or like think of a way to like present some of the data that we have, it's always got like the player base, the casters, like everyone who could possibly be interested in these metrics, it's got them involved. So like sometimes I'd be thinking like, you know, this would be an amazing tool for like, Caleb and Speedy, where they're in the middle of casting and they can look up a player and, see like, the previous tournaments they've, been in, or like, their matchups and stuff like that. From a like, players point perspective, they can look up, past teams that have been successful and, it might help them when team building. They can look at trends from previous regionals, maybe even previous regionals of a specific region. So, strictly only European regionals. So they can get an idea of like, what kind of trends are, potentially going to arise in the next regional that they enter. So it's really for everyone. And you know what the thing is also is that like, I think we don't necessarily currently have one place where all this stuff is collated. And there's a lot of games out there where they do have something like this, So it almost felt like a no-brainer, where it's like, especially with the Play Pokemon season being like, really solid after the first season, it just felt like a natural progression, having all this information there.
Yeah, for sure.
I
Do
agree.
you all
I feel
have?
like.
Oh yeah, go
ahead.
ahead. No, go
No,
ahead. Go ahead.
I already asked one. You can ask your question.
Oh no. All I was gonna say is, so the data you all have too, is this is just from this current season of Play Pokemon, or do you have stuff from season 1, 2, or like what's
At the moment,
what's
it's just the current season, yeah.
okay, gotcha.
Mhm.
Yeah. But we have plans for the to like add the previous season in, because I feel like, again, if like, who knows how long this will last, hopefully very long. But in 3 years' time, it would be amazing if people could look back and be like, oh wow, they were using this Pokemon, season 1.
Yeah. Well, also there's the time distance, right? Like the further you get away from something, the harder it is to, find that information, to find the
Right.
VODs or speak to the players and get insights and that kind of stuff. I really feel like there's so much information that's been produced via these tournaments, whether it's usage or usage by region, or it's even the play styles, right? Like looking at which competitors can win with more protect shields remaining, or how much alignment really matters in these matchups. It just feels like all this data is just kind of floating around, and you guys are doing a good job of like grabbing the pieces and making these connections and actually like building something out of what, like you pointed out, is basically just amorphous data points at this point. When you break all this stuff down and you present it in this way, do you have any like methods? Do you just get like an idea and you say, oh, I'd really think it'd be cool to look at Shadow Sableye usage in Europe? Or do you have like a method or like a list of things that you're working through?
Yeah, I mean, I don't know. Just try to represent the data like in the most in the best way possible. So that it's easy for the viewer to interpret. And to sort of see like the trends and what's going on. And then yeah, in terms of like trying to find like those unique picks, I'll be like everyone else. I'm just like sitting there flipping through the performance charts, like, oh man, like look at Shadow Venusaur. You know what I mean? Like it's just consistently like like in that 5 to 10% usage range, but it's just like its performance is pretty consistent. Like it's generally positive like throughout. Whereas you look at like other Pokemon, like Obstagoon, they have flashes, right? Of good performance, but like you'd expect, with those lower usage Pokemon, they're sort of hot and cold. And so those kind of picks, do stand out even as you're just sort of flipping through some of the charts, or I mean, I love like the interactive bar chart that we have. Like you can sort of, you could click on each event, but you could also click and look at like the last 3 events, and say like, hey, what's the top usage for the last 3 events? I'll just check the last 3 boxes and see what are people bringing lately.
Dude, I'm looking at Bastion right now. 101 total people brought Bastion. That's
Wow.
actually a lot more than I thought it would be.
Yeah, true. No, so to your point about the usage over time, I actually had an idea that I actually sent this internally to play Pokemon as well. And I said, what if we had a chart that tracked usage over time, but our x-axis was actually the Niantic events, right? Like Shadow Alola Ninetales being added to the game, or a Go Battle League season update. And you can see these spikes and ebbs and flows as the game evolves and changes throughout the season. I think that could be a cool data point as well. One competitor I wanted to point out to you guys was Kimi Sui, who won Fort Wayne. He was the first trainer that I think we've seen who won the whole tournament. And then when they asked him about his team and his success, he said, I actually looked at the usage. I looked heavily into the metrics and I saw what everybody was using. And that's why I brought Defense Form Deoxys. Did you remember that? Did you hear that? Did you get like a feeling like, okay, there might be something here?
Oh yeah, I mean, I love hearing stuff like that because that's what I do. You know what I mean? So like, it's always nice to hear like someone say like, "Oh, that was my approach," and I found success with it. So I think we all love hearing that. That sort of affirmation is like how we're thinking about the best ways to prepare. For tournaments or team build, things like
Also,
that.
I really hope
too about the events too, because I want to add in like the lines, like Shadow A9 release or things that seem significant, because you could sort of see that, right? Like we know like after Orlando, that's when that happened, and you can see it in the usage. It'd just be nice to delineate that, right? Like on the chart, so you can sort of see like, oh, that's why A9's going up,
Yeah, I really hope that like Kimi Sui's approach is, becomes the approach going forward, because with that, then we can have a bit more meta development without necessarily having any move changes, So like mid-season, we could hopefully have, more development, more changes, just independently with just, people analyzing the meta and seeing where it's going.
Yeah, I agree. I feel like a lot of the meta development so far in the season, if Caleb loves my metaphors, right? That's the first thing I need to lead in here.
It's not even that I love it or not. I just don't understand most of them. But go ahead.
So basically, the way I think of it is that, dude, you're gonna love this one, Caleb. Just get ready. Basically, the way I think of it is that we're all in this forest, right? And you have your Dude, I'm telling you, it's a good one. We're all in a forest, and you have your regional champions that are kind of leading the way, and you have people behind them, right? Like people that are copying the teams, maybe seeing the usage of, the Great League staples like Metacham, Azumarill, Galarian Sunfish, Altaria, whatever, and they just kind of follow in step, right? And they kind of look and say, oh, well, for example, Magic Mason and Brown Baller succeeded in Toronto with that team, so Jakobrovich uses it at OCIC. And then you have some trainers that are kind of like off in the bushes somewhere, like Fish on a Heater. He's got like Gliscor, Shadow Bomb of Snow, and Arrows over here on this side as well. Just way off there running some random stuff. But I feel like the great utility that DracoViz can offer is to kind of like shed some light on this forest. So we're not just following in the steps of the regional champions and the high success rates. We're actually like seeing the forest for the trees, so to speak. So we can actually dial in on the usage and pick unique things that actually work, like Defense Form Deoxys, or like these teams that maybe, I don't know, maybe Arrow and a few others have stumbled upon things that work that we didn't anticipate. But Caleb can speak to this too, but we've seen like the same meta baked in game, regional after regional after regional. And from a casting perspective, we do our best to make it exciting, but even us, like loving the game, sometimes we do get a little bored.
Yeah,
So-
I mean, I still don't know if I really followed that analogy, but I do agree with your last point. The meta being still. I mean, you saw Axon getting second place in Vancouver, and then a few months later get first place with the same exact team, right?
Same team.
But there always are little interesting shifts, right? And I think this is where usage itself is more than just like a numbers thing, right? Because if you look even at Portland, the number one usage Pokemon was Galarian Sunfish, but on day 2 in the top cut, it was like number 8th, I think, in highest usage, right? Registry was actually number 3rd, which is kind of interesting. So it's not just usage doesn't always correlate with performance, which I think where stuff like DracoViz could really come in handy. I was just looking at this, like one of your charts here too, one of the usage charts. I gotta say, OCIC, man, shout out. They 8.8% Bastion usage, so the highest of the whole season. And then second place is actually 7.7% at Indian qualifier, but there were 221 people at Indian qualifier.
I bet like half of that's Rod Drago. Like
it could be, yeah.
Like,
Yeah. Shout out to Rob too, my fellow Bastion Worlds qualifier.
And the Drapion. Loves that.
Yeah,
True.
shout out Drapion. Shout out Drapion, Trevenant, and Bassi too. I mean,
he loves that.
Yeah.
Going back to Speedy's point about like the the players that bring in different stuff. I mean, I love seeing it even at the regional level. Like when you look at different groups. Like EU. I mean, we posted those charts. Comparing NA and EU. Like those are some really interesting trends to see. Like EU tends to bring more Dunsparce, more Shadow Zard, or just Zard in general. Like surprisingly, like even more Pelipper and Mancine as well. Like trying to make it work. Even with Lantern being as good as it is. So I have a lot of respect for EU and them sort of pushing the meta forward a little bit. NA seems like a little bit more content to like settle in, to the top 8. And then, even some of the APAC stuff. I don't know if you guys saw our graphic, from the Korea qualifiers, but we posted that, and like that was the first time Altaria had actually been above 20% since Shadow A9 release in any event. And then, what do we see this past weekend in Portland? 3 Altaria in the top 8. So
True.
Like it's pretty cool to see those trends, and maybe those are just different people, like sort of identifying the trends independently, like potential shifts in the meta. But it's really cool. See the meta move a little bit.
Leveraging Caleb's reality TV show script writing ability, his stirring the pot ability, if I may say. We really struck something special going into OCIC when we started asking which region was the strongest, or which players could succeed in other regions, right? Like there's a big question of whether or not European trainers with their teams, like you said, Poly, a little bit off kilter, could actually succeed in this like hardcore hyper optimized North American meta. And you can say the same thing for APAC or for LATAM as well. I mean, what do you guys say? Do you think if you took Status Dan with his Dunsparce and his Mew and dropped him into Portland, would he have succeeded in the same degree, for example?
I'm gonna say yes.
Yes.
And you know what the reason is? Because
It used to
one
be a
of my
local yours, though, right?
theories.
Is there any
Yeah,
bias here?
exactly. Well, I mean, shout out Stan, sick guy. But do you know what? Yeah, like I think one of my theories of why Europe are a bit more willing to push the boat out there, it comes down to opportunity. So I don't really understand like how it works in the US, but especially because a lot of regionals, and again, it links to like, regional attendance as well, right? So like a lot of the regionals are, around like sort of the 70 to 100 mark, whereas in Europe you get a lot more. So to me, that says that Europeans are, it's a bit easier for Europeans to travel to events. And so as a result, like for one player, they could, look at the season and think, well, I've got 4 opportunities to qualify. Whereas in the US, you might have, only one, because they can't realistically make it out to other places. So if that's the case and you've only got one opportunity, are you going to risk it using something like a bit spicy, or are you going to go for the safe option? This is just one of my theories, So I feel like that may come into sort of thing. But when you look at the technical player of a lot of the Europeans, it's like it's up there. So it's not they know how to use these Pokemon. It's not just like thrown in.
Right.
EU has a ton of great players. They're really, I don't know. It's really, when you start listing them, like you just don't know when to stop. Like who do you think should be like in that top 5 or whatever number you want to pick conversation. But yeah, I think you also got to give some credit to the players too. Like they recognize also like their own meta a little bit, right? Like I don't necessarily, I don't know, we could ask like Stan or someone else, but like I don't necessarily know if they would run the exact same team, like if you just drop them into, like the Portland meta, or with the track record of NA metas, like I'm not sure. I'm sure they understand not just the meta as a whole, you know what I mean, but also maybe the tendencies within their own region as well. And so, they might, some of them might be comfortable with their own team, but I don't necessarily know if every single team we see, you know what I mean, like would that trainer would not make adjustments. I think
no, you're exactly right. Like I'm sure these trainers are looking at meta trends, and if you put them in a different environment, if they would have the same approach is the question, right?
Yeah.
Yeah.
That is interesting. Yeah, I don't know. I am very curious too. I would love to see like, especially like some Europeans come out to like NAIC, or like I know some are going to Hartford too, right? Bring some of the spice and see like how it works. Because we'll see like Portland as example, there were like Shadow Charizard users, but they just like no one could even make it the top cut with it, right? I mean, there were probably at least a few people using Shadow Dragonair, but again, like, well, I mean, it looked like after Tauntaun's performance at EUIC, you're like, oh, there's gonna be Shadow Dragonair everywhere, right? That thing looked broken, right? Like there was like no stopping it, and then there's just the same stuff that we usually see in NA. I mean, it's just like the biggest spice difference was we got more Registeel than GFIS, but like that's not like a big, that big of a change, all things considered. So I don't know. I'm very curious. To see that.
So my question is, and this relates to the region by region breakdown and strengths and all that kind of stuff. What I really would love to see, and I think you might be the two gentlemen to pull it off, is I would love to see a analysis of strength of schedule, because a lot of people say Human Catcher Bug in Liverpool, second highest win rate. He's went through so much competition. He's like the best. He has the best resume of any competitor so far. Or they say Jakobrovic in OCIC with 94% win rate. He has the best resume. But then they say, oh well, the OCIC competition wasn't the same, or the Liverpool competition was more intense, or whatever they might say. I'd love to see a strength of schedule breakdown.
Yeah, it's so difficult. I feel like that's something you'd have to sort of accumulate over an extended period of time too, right? You need a lot of data points to really sort of start getting it down. But that definitely would be interesting to try to work into. I think
like who you play. I feel like that would be similar to how Sylph does it, right? Like where like you gain more like ranking points in your road to like challenger or elite or whatever, or legend, right, in their rankings based off of the difficulty of the opponents you play, and like if you 3-0 them, or 2-1 or whatever. But I don't know how to like start even wrap my head around making those rankings, because you can't say like, well, let's say like, oh, I battled Axon in his first ever tournament, I took a set off of him, but like if he's ranked at the highest, like I shouldn't get a bunch of points at his first tournament ever, right? It would be like
True.
the
It's
accomplishments of the
because
players as a I don't know.
Mm.
That sounds like a long-term project if you all decide to do it.
That's all Poly.
yeah, it's on my wish list for Christmas. So.
For Christmas, yeah. Christmas 2030 maybe.
Exactly.
Christmas this year might be a different thing. I was looking at the website too, and I'm wondering, do you all have a plan to like have like specific like almost like player profiles or like be able to search up players down the road for the website? Because right now you can see like the schedule, you can see the teams they ran. If you click on the trainer, you can see like how they did in that specific tournament, right? But but what about like just a player profile for like all the players and stuff like that?
Yeah, I mean, we definitely have we have player data, and we definitely, want to find creative ways to use it. I mean, I could definitely see us, maybe exploring like a player search bar or something like that. Like just more player graphics, or maybe even, like an interactive dashboard, like I did with the usage charts or something. So you can maybe like sort by, like game, season game win rate or things like that. That would be pretty cool. I think useful for the community. There's a lot of, like really cool stats, and, hoping who knows, some may come up in trivia later. So, we'll just have to wait and see how well you guys know your stuff.
I like
I've
it.
I've got a fun idea. I just want to toss out. Just randomly thought of this one. I don't know if you fellows are friends with JJan, but I know that he keeps track of the Go Battle League leaderboards, and it's always cool to me because I'm in I have the GBLA. It's always cool for me to see trainers that succeed at a very high level in the blind Go Battle League format, how they carry those skills over to play Pokemon. I'd love to see like a comparison, right, of like how these top leaderboarders fare in play Pokemon tournaments one day.
Yeah, we should. Yeah, we could definitely maybe talk to JJan or something. That would be pretty cool. I've always thought his leaderboards were really cool and needed a home. Like on the website, like on the internet. I mean, somewhere.
Because I think the most we have at the moment is like the Japanese site 9DB.
Yes.
So having something a bit more localized would be great.
Do y'all know how JJ even gets the data? Like, does he just refresh the leaderboard every day? Like when there's like new data? Like how does he keep track of it?
I have no idea.
Oh man,
I don't know.
No idea.
That's wild. But yeah,
I'd like to think he's just there writing it by hand.
yeah. All right. I'm gonna write down 500 names today. Start my morning routine.
That week where they didn't update the leaderboard, he was just
dude. Yeah, whenever Niantic's late on it, he's like, I need some time off.
Stress.
Yeah, no, that would be really cool because especially when we hear from people like Axon who've like started in GBL and stuff too, right? Like didn't really start with Sylph. I mean, and then Auburn too, right? Always on the leaderboard and also getting second place in Charlotte too, right? So definitely some crossover there. So that'd be interesting.
Also, a lot of like Asian players, for example, where they only really have one tournament.
Yeah,
a lot of their like achievements would usually be in GBL.
Yeah,
that's true too.
No, definitely. I mean, speaking of Asian tournaments too, the Japanese tournaments. I'm curious how you all are going to like analyze the data because I heard from the Japanese qualifiers, it's best of one, which is kind of wild, right? Like I don't even know how you weight those games and do the data.
So we've kind of like for the start because I don't know if people know how it's being set up, but it's like it is a bit mad. So it's best of one tournaments where you're playing against like I think 12 other players, so you end up playing like 4 matches, but the last match is a best of 3, and everyone who wins that block will qualify for PJCS. But there are loads of these tournaments, like over 100. So there's about like 5 a day on the days that they do them, and they do them in the stores as well. So
the Pokemon Center, right? From
yeah. So basically, you apply for a lottery to actually be in one of the groups as well. If someone doesn't show up, then you may be able to get on the thing. So there's a lot of like really weird stuff going into just like being able to qualify for the actual tournament.
Dude.
So yeah, we've chosen to like leave it alone for now. There's a few people we know from Japan who are trying to like track all the different pre-qualifying tournaments. But again, it's difficult because there's no like official place where they put them. It's all just like word of mouth. You might miss certain people. Some people might not be in the community, so they're not sharing their teams and stuff like that. So
wow,
it's a bit tricky.
Okay. Well, one of my teammates, CFH, is competing this upcoming weekend, so we'll see. Maybe I'll hit him up and see if he could share his thoughts too. You never know. Like,
something else.
He's good, but like best of ones, dude. I'd run like double shadow charm on my team and like never run it in the games. So everyone over prepares for it. And I'll just run like like I don't know, like anti-steal, anti-poison or something, in every best of one, right? Just scare them. But yeah, that's a wild format. Yeah. So just the data itself is just hard to even collect for those, right? Essentially.
Yeah. But when PJCS happens, obviously that one will be a bit easier, and also there'll be a stream.
Okay.
Which I think, you know what? Last year there was a stream, right?
I remember seeing it because it was like it was before Milwaukee. It was the first time we saw anyone run like an obscure in the tournament. We're like, what? Like these guys are running obscure?
I don't know if that was the stream.
Oh, was that not the stream?
So I thought that was the stream, yeah. And all my friends thought it was this the one where the guy like led a Scrafty into a team with like two fairies, and they were in like some little room or something.
Yeah, I think I didn't actually. So to be fair, I didn't actually watch the stream, but I saw like some screen caps of it, and I saw people running. Like the option was like it wasn't even that spicy. There was something like a really weird fight. It wasn't a Lucario. It was something really odd. But they made like top cut with it. Yeah, it was like all like 8 teams looked super different from each other in Japan, which was really weird. But yeah, I don't know. I mean, it's gonna be interesting to see because we're kind of just like in the dark on like what their meta's even like, right? And what they run. I mean, and honestly, best of ones, like anyone can make it like all the way that far, right? At that point, so could be a real crapshoot. But yeah, no, that's cool. All right, so Speedy kind of alluded to this. I was gonna I feel like maybe if you have a different response, Speedy, we can do this. But I was gonna say, what is something that you would want to see? I was gonna share something I want to see, but what's something you would like to see on DracoViz down the line to give these guys some ideas? So if GPL leaderboard integration is one of the things, then that could be your thing. But something I was thinking about is, I think it'd be really cool if you have. This is going to take some work, right? Because there's no like easy way to grab the data. But if you have someone like watch through all the stream footage, right, of every tournament, and you start collecting data on like how often does like, let's say Axon as an example, he's just won Portland. How often does Axon win against like teams when he wins a lead or when he loses a lead, right? And like so you have like weird metrics, but it would only be like you would put an asterisk like this is only stream data too, right? So like whoever they do like off stream is different, right? But for the really good players, they're going to be on stream a lot, so you might get a lot more data points. And then you might even have like a clutch score, like how often do they like reverse sweep, like when they're down like 0-2 or something in like a best of 5 or maybe 0-1 in a best of 3 too, right? Maybe you rate the clutch score a little differently, which again, it's gonna be a very long-term project because you're gonna have to actually watch the footage. But I think it'd be really interesting to see like some of these players like, man, they're really good at calling leads and calling team comps, or like they're really good at clawing their way out of bad like lead situations, right? And like you could have like, because I'm just thinking like like professional sports like NBA or NFL, whatever, they throw out like the weirdest facts. I'd be like, dude, the last time someone scored 50 points and 7 blocks here was like at a home game was like 70 years ago. It was this guy, right? It was just like they'll have like the randomest stat lines, but I think those would be really cool if we like have those, right?
Yeah, well, no, to your point, Caleb, I thought of that as well. I was like, well, on average, Axon throws 12 charge attacks per game, but his opponent throws an average of 9. Or like Axon doesn't use his first shield on average until 2 minutes into the game.
Or even baiting, right? Like how often are they baiting versus how often not? But again, I mean, you all need to find like an unpaid intern to watch
I'm just watching Poly's reactions.
He's like,
I know, right?
That's just looking at Poly's face.
Yeah, that's Christmas 2060 for you.
He's like, in your dreams, bro.
Every other organization, we're going to say we're making investments in AI, to handle this in the future for us. So,
just ask Chat GPT how many times has Axon
down the road.
Yeah, I think even like a bait percentage thing is kind of interesting to see.
Yeah.
But again, that's like you got to manually do that one. I think I don't know if you could make that decision any other way, but
That's true. No, like baiting, I could see actually being easy enough to quantify. The whole lead thing even is weird to me because it's like, well, like certain matchups, like how do you judge it? Like,
There's a spectrum.
like sure, Trevenant into Noctowl, like that's a lost lead, right?
Right.
But like, the close ones where it's like, okay, it's generally favorable, but not always. Like maybe you strongly win with shields up, but you lose with shields down. Like it's
like
just
Powder Serena into Medi, right?
Yeah.
I've got six categorizers, right? It's hard loss, soft loss, neutral, soft win, hard win, and then the sixth one is bait dependent, like Galarian Stunfisk, like Trevenant Mirror, that kind of stuff.
Right.
Dude, Speedy, you see how neither of them are like writing down your.
I know,
they're like doing this. Like this great idea, but we're not doing this.
They took my idea and they were like,
yeah, they're like, yeah. Be on the lookout.
Speedy had that piece of paper ready for that. I mean,
that's
a professional.
Yeah, we're
I'm gonna say this thing. It's gonna be super dramatic.
Yeah. It wasn't even notes because he's not gonna go grab it in a second. He just had it for that experience.
That's funny. Hey, I got another idea for you all. You could even have a BM percentage, right? Like and release on like April Fool's Day or something. But like, which player BMs the most or something like that, right? Anyway, plenty of work to do in the future if you all want to go down that route. Yeah,
that's cool.
Speedy, did you have a idea you would like to see out of DracoViz outside the GPL?
Dude. I get ideas for days. Right now, I just hound Poly for information, but one day I'll just start shooting him all these ideas. But no, I mean, to your point, Caleb, like having in-depth tracking metrics about player performance would be really cool. I don't know if you need to like write an AI script for that can actually like watch the videos for you and pick those moments out, perhaps, or what you need to do for that. The GPL leaderboard integration, I think, tracking Niantic's timeline alongside concurrently parallel to the Play Pokemon timeline would also be fun. Region by region competitiveness, can't talk, and also the strength of schedule. I mean, dude, I got ideas for days.
Yeah. I mean, I think something that you all you all pretty much have the data on too, and a little full disclosure, Poly helped me out a little bit at UIC for this. I would just like message him. I was like, hey, you got any info on like Sadistan versus Tauntaun, right? Because they were in the winners finals. And Paul was like, yeah, they actually matched up in I think it was like Stuttgart, and Tauntaun won 2-0, right? Like at one point in time. That's really cool, right? Especially if like for these big, especially the internationals, right? EUIC, like all the Europeans are there. Like NAIC, a lot of NA players are there, right? So like if you go into that championship Sunday with like top 3 players, you could like actually have a lot of cool data on potentially the player history, right? I know Play Pokemon is kind of short, but as you go through, the many years that you're bound to run into the same people multiple times, right? And so that'd be really cool to see, like if we have those data points.
And players don't remember. Players
I bet they do.
When I always talk to top players, they're always like, like this person, like they just, they got my number, or
dude,
it's always like back and forth with us or something,
Yeah.
Dude, I dug into Human Catcher Bug's Liverpool run, and I actually watched his games that were on stream, and his Shadow Charizard, right? I remember I've dropped this point a few times during my cast, but it feels so cool to actually like drop this data point in the middle of a cast. His Shadow Charizard, right? It had 8 KOs on stream. He gave it 7 Protect Shields, and every single game he won 4 out of 4 when he brought the Shadow Charizard. 100% win rate.
Yeah, wow. You just took notes to yourself on this?
Yeah, I watched back the VOD.
Oh, it sounds like they already got the unpaid intern here.
Cool.
Seems like you're ready you're ready to watch the rest of the VOD, Speedy.
Dude, I'm telling you.
The sooner you start watching this, the less work you got later,
Welcome to Draco Metrics.
Welcome to the team.
Yeah.
You're hired. Yeah.
For the amount of work you do, they might change the team name, the site name, just for that. Dude, that'd be great. Yeah, but anyway, I mean, I thought that was really cool when you were able to provide me with that info, and I could I mentioned it during the commentary too. But maybe down the road, if you all want to make like a graphic leading into international worlds, like a top cut or top 3, right? That could be cool. You could be like a side-to-side profile, be like, yo, the last time, Rise
Yeah.
went against Accent, it was this or whatever, right? Or maybe they don't have match history, right? That'd be cool too, just to know and see. But
Yeah.
almost
Definitely.
like a I'm thinking like almost like a boxing or MMA like
Yeah.
like
Yeah, yeah.
like player card
Mhm.
like profile, like
Right. Yeah. No, that'd be
Yeah.
cool.
yeah.
Or trainers they've both beaten, right? Like both of these
Mhm.
trainers have beaten Hot Pocket, but both of them have
Yeah.
lost to Enhoff.
Oh,
right? So
dude,
it's
that'd be
like,
really cool. Yeah,
that'd
yeah,
be neat.
dude, so much cool
But yeah.
stuff. Anyway, um, yeah, I think that'd be really cool too. Speaking of data that you all have, I heard you have a quiz for us. Some stuff maybe we can't find easily on the DracoViz website or Twitter.
We do.
All right.
Yeah.
Yeah. I
Uh-oh.
shortened the number of questions because some of them are kind of like extended questions. So
Okay.
I don't know. We'll see. We'll see how long it goes.
Okay. All right. All right. Do you know, how many total questions are there?
I don't want to give you a number because like
Okay.
some of the questions are like.
I'm keeping track of the score regardless. But
Oh no,
all
you should definitely keep track of the score. You know,
All
it'd
right.
be cool if even like I don't know if you.
right,
wanna
Speedy
throw
up.
it
It's at the bottom of our agenda. I'm ready to go. I'm ready to start
sure.
adding
So-
tallies next to my name.
Before we jump in, what's the format of the questions? Is this
Yeah.
like whoever buzzes in first? Do I get one? Then Caleb gets one? Like, how does it work?
Oh.
So there'll be some questions, I guess, where we'll sort of let you both answer, and you guys we'll say at the beginning of the question whether it's like a question where you both answer, and or if it's sort of alternating.
Okay.
But yeah, no buzzing in.
All right.
All right, I'm ready to slam my desk when I'm ready to
Dude,
answer.
no cheating,
Yeah.
Speedy. Crumple up any papers you got, any of those notes.
Yeah,
Dude,
you
I didn't realize
expect
you're
me to have
taking
a
all these-
buzzer as well.
Yeah, dude.
Yeah,
I didn't know he's taking track of human counterpart shield usage. That's kind of crazy. Might know more than I think he does.
Hands free.
Okay. All right. So here's the first one. Little easy one to warm up, I guess.
All right.
So, which Pokemon has had the higher performance over the past 5 tournaments? And that's so the past 5 tournaments that we're talking about here, because I haven't like looked at all of the Sao Paulo data yet, and we don't have Portland data yet. And so that's the last 5 that I'm talking about are Utrecht, Charlotte, Fort Wayne, Sydney, and EUIC. Okay. So out of those, which has the higher performance? And you guys can pick the same answer, okay? Because that's totally fine.
Oh, it's multiple choice?
No, it's just 2. It's sort
okay.
of like A or B.
Oh, okay.
Thing,
Gotcha,
right?
gotcha.
Okay.
So which Pokemon has had the higher performance over the past 5 tournaments? Galarian Stunfisk or Registeel?
Ooh.
Oh, dude. Now including Portland is interesting.
You guys don't have to. You can say it, and then like I guess you guys can decide whether or not you want to. This is why I did this one early. You know what I mean? So there's no gamesmanship. You know what I mean? About
I would love as well for everyone that's watching on YouTube to actually like leave a comment and take this quiz with us in real
Oh,
time.
that'd be
And let
good.
us know.
Yeah.
And let
Yes,
us know what you think.
start your comment with your answer and just like enter
Yes.
like number 1, whatever, right?
Yeah.
And tell us if you got it right or not, because I might not remember. I'm not gonna grade like 100 comments. Right? Be like, you only got 50% now this one, right? I'm going with Registeel. I'm gonna go with Registeel.
The past 5.
I'm
I'm
means like it's showing up on the top 20% of teams more often, so it's winning, it's showing up on winning teams more often.
okay. Definitely Registeel, because you need a harder answer for Alola Ninetales, and I think with Water Gun Lantern as well.
All right, it's Registeel. You guys both got that one right. It's Galarian
Maybe I
Stunfisk.
should have Speedy go first. So he's copied my answer.
Oh, dude.
All right, so the next one is Trevenant versus Sableye. So which one of those 2 ghosts?
You take this one,
do you think,
Dude, it's
have higher
easily
performance?
it's easily Trevenant.
I'm glad you went first. I'm going Sableye here. It's gotta be Sableye. Dude, there's barely even Trevenant in UIC top 3. There wasn't a single one.
But does it perform well?
If it didn't make it the top 3, obviously it didn't perform well. What do you mean? What do you mean? I don't. All right, what's the answer?
It is Sableye.
Let's go.
Yeah, Trevenant's it's hovered around like neutral and been like slightly under neutral. It's been pretty even. It's not been terrible, but Sableye's actually been like a good, strong performer. It's been in a lot of top 20% teams. So yeah.
Okay. All right.
No point for Caleb. No point for
2 to 1. I'm keeping
All
track.
right, last one for this question style.
Okay.
Alola Ninetales versus Swampert. And this is shadow and non-shadow combined now. I thought this was an interesting one since they both kind of came up at the same time. So which one has a higher performance?
You want me to go first?
No, I'm confident in my answer.
Oh, okay. All right, go ahead.
And this is top 20% team usage, essentially.
Yeah, which one's showing up on the top 20%, of teams more often than total teams?
Oh, yeah. Shadow of the Ninetales.
Oh, well,
or it's just Alola Nine because the Shadow and non-Shadow are combined.
Oh, sure,
yeah.
Sure.
I'm going, dude. It's gotta be Swampert, man. Think about EUIC. Tauntaun was so good because there was no Ninetales.
All right, it's actually Alola Ninetales.
Oh, thanks.
That's the point. Yeah.
I was had to convince you. You're thinking about it. You're regretting your decision for a second.
No.
I was thinking EUIC, and then I mean, Dilop was running that Swampert. Dilop and Axon, right? And then also Auburn and Richie both had Swampert, right? So I was like, that's gotta be Swampert.
No, yeah, it's definitely had some highs. But in terms of top 20% of teams, A9's just been better overall. What's really interesting, if you look at Swampert and Alola, this holds true for Alola Ninetales, but especially for Swampert. If you look at Shadow versus Total, Shadow has been very positive though, whereas Total has been closer or slightly negative, closer to 0 or slightly negative performance.
Dude, I'm still really mad because you all don't know this, but Poly, you did one Shadow Lone Vulpix, right? Stop.
Yeah.
It was what?
Come on,
it was a rank 3 Great League or something.
Yeah, no, it was rank 2. Yeah,
I
think it was rank 2.
Dude, I've done so many. I've lost sleep, driving around at 3 a.m. in Hollywood trying to find stuff, and dude, my best one's a rank 185.
You guys want to see the one that I built? I'll reveal it. You ready?
Yeah, let's go.
All right.
No,
mate.
You didn't build that. You didn't build that. Let me say CP. Wait, what? Why would you build that?
Bro,
dude, it's the best one I had.
Dude, I could barely take an ice weather ball, let alone anything else. That's can't be the best we have.
It is. It is for real. It's the best one I have.
For our audio listeners, what's the spread?
It's an Australian Alola Ninetales. It's what was it, 13-15 or something?
Yeah, 13-15 0. Yeah, emphasize the 0, right? 13-15 might be something else, but I'll even take a 13-15 4.
Nope.
Dude, well, if you ever see Speedy in a tournament, he's winning CMP.
Best believe I win in CMP. Let's go.
Actually, do you have that much less health than the rank 1? Probably is a lot, right?
How much health does yours have, Polly? We can actually compare right now, basically.
Health, HP.
I don't know if he made his yet. Oh yeah, you did make yours. You made yours when it was still at frustration.
Okay.
All right, HP for rank 1 is 126. What's yours? I'm curious. At 0 HP, because I'm wondering you have break points. You have bulk points at least.
115.
Yeah, that's pretty bad.
It's 11 HP less.
Yeah.
Wow.
That's a whole charge move, man.
That's not even a couple of passes.
Dude, if you go against that Alone Ninetales, just throw Ice Punch on your Medi. Yeah, don't worry about it. You don't even need to build up a Psychic. Power Punch might be enough too.
Yeah, exactly. Wall Rain, Weather Ball, or Icicle Spears.
Yeah, dude, I'm pretty sure Sableye beats Cyclone straight foul play.
Probably.
Wow. Okay, all right, we're tied up in the first segment. All right, let's get to this.
Okay. Let's see. How do we want to do this one? Actually, maybe I'll let you both answer, and then we'll see. Okay. We'll see if you guys are totally okay to pick the same answer.
Yeah.
But we'll just sort of do rounds. You both get to answer. We'll see. Maybe you both get a point if you both say the same thing and get it right. But
we can also DM you. We can DM you, Polly.
All right, you ready? This is a player-related question. So, who has the highest game win rate percentage for this entire season? With a minimum, this is the catcher, with a minimum of 2 events attended. So anyone, and I won't say who because that's part of it. You guys gotta think back who's attended multiple events that you can think of and done well, at least 2. Who has the highest game win rate?
At least 2 events, huh?
Yeah.
Clarifying question: your Cobravich has only attended 1, right?
Yes.
I mean that's.
Oh, okay. If you're feeling confident,
that's
well, obviously,
for,
if he attended multiple and we didn't even hear about him winning another one, then his win rate.
Yeah,
exactly, right? Yeah, if you can't think of another one he made top 8 in, then.
Do you have someone in mind, Speedy?
I'm thinking EU as well as NAA.
Yeah. How about this? I'll count us down, and then we'll say.
Do you guys want to DM? You guys can DM.
No, let's just say the name at the same time when we count us down. But when you're ready,
Okay.
I got mine. I'm pretty sure I know it.
Give me like 5 seconds.
All right,
here.
5.
I'll think about it.
4. No, I'm just kidding. Just tell me when you're ready.
Wow, no pressure. Like,
Yeah. Dude, there's a slow play rule, man.
Shoot. All right. I think I'm gonna get it wrong, but I'm ready.
All right. 3, 2, 1, rise.
Hey, Donis.
Oh, you didn't even say it. Hey, Donis.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh,
Dude, I
okay.
like Hey Donis, but he like went like 0-2 or something, or like really he didn't do so well in San Diego.
Nope to both. Rise is second.
Oh,
dude.
Oh.
I get
is
partial
second.
points for that one, right?
Is it? Who the heck is it?
All right, so maybe we both get one more guess then if we both didn't get it right.
Yeah.
All right.
Do
Yeah,
we get
both
another
get
hint,
one more.
Polly? Or is that it?
Huh?
Do we get a
No,
hint,
no
or
more.
is that?
No more hints.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
Minimum of 2 events, highest game win rate. So they had to have done well in both. They're like, yeah, but they've also had to have done well in all of them, right? Like if you have one kind of bad
So the most ideal candidate is somebody who went to 2 events and like placed top 8 in both of them or better.
exactly, right?
All right.
Or maybe 3, like Rise. I mean, Rise had 3.
That's
true.
I
But
was
Rise
thinking
is
2 people, but
He's
all
a
right,
rare
let's-
species, man.
Let's do it. You ready? All right. So these are events up to was it EYC?
Through this weekend.
Even through this
I did
weekend?
them-
Oh,
I
yeah.
actually did them
yeah.
out
Oh,
by
yeah. All of
hand.
it. Oh, okay.
Yeah,
Oh, shoot.
out by hand.
Oh, that changes
I know, they
things.
were close.
Dude, you got to think EU as well.
All right. You ready? I'll count us down.
Yeah, sure.
All right. 3, 2, 1. Human catcher bug.
Status Stan.
Dude, I was gonna go with Status Stan originally,
Ooh.
but I feel like it might be Human Catcher Bug. Which one
It's
is it?
Human Catcher Bug.
Oh,
There
let's
we
go. No,
What
Human
other
Catcher
events
Bug.
did he
Well,
went
no,
to
because I was
Status
thinking
Stan's got a
Human
good
Catcher
win
Bug,
rate,
like he had to beat so many people at Liverpool, right? So like
Yeah,
even though
that's
he
true.
probably didn't do as good at UIC, his average is probably like through the roof still, right?
Yeah, I think it was,
True.
what was it, 91? I think it was 91%.
How did he do at
Liverpool.
UIC?
I think he top cut at
Uh,
UIC still.
Yeah, no,
Oh,
he's still
he
top
did.
cut.
Yeah,
He's
because he
still
didn't really
top cut.
show up on stream, but so I think like people
Yeah.
didn't know, but I feel like he still did pretty well.
Yeah.
Wait, what Status Stan's ranking out of all the players? Out of curiosity, because I'm assuming he's.
I don't
pretty
have
good.
that on hand. Yeah, I don't have
Oh,
that on
okay.
hand for that win rate.
Oh, so you're telling me that Speedy
Human
wasn't
Catcher Bug
close,
was
right?
82%. He is the highest.
Okay,
Uh,
82%. That's pretty high.
82% game win rate for the season.
Dude.
Wow.
My win
That's
rate was
insane.
my win rate's in the trash can just from facing Berto alone.
Shout out to JW Naldo, who has 76%
Oh.
win rate, representing or has the highest in Latin America, and then
Nice.
Diane Bish at 74% for
For
Oceania.
that's pretty nice. All right,
Yeah.
3-2, Speedy. 3-2.
Anicor's got a big one. Here we go.
Aye.
This is a
Oh, okay.
One of
I
favorite
love this question. We were
Okay.
discussing it earlier, and honestly, hey, this is a good one, man. This is a good one.
Oh,
Okay, so
already.
All right.
it's Saxon. After his win this weekend, has now got 4 for 4 day twos made this season.
Mhm.
Yeah, can 4 for 4. He hasn't like dropped below day two this season,
Yeah.
right? He's the only person in the world. However, there are 3. Is it 3 other people?
4.
No, there are 4 other people
Mhm.
who could potentially still do 4 for 4, but they haven't played 4 tournaments yet. They're on
Ooh.
3 for 3 right now of top
Okay.
cuts this season, and this is worldwide. So this is all
Oh
regions.
shoot! All right.
They're 3 for 3 at the moment in top cuts.
And including this past weekend. Yep.
Yeah,
Okay. So we need to name 4 people.
yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah,
I'm gonna
so-
write mine down too.
Yeah, I'm
Well-
gonna write this down so I can think about
Oh wait,
it.
I'm about to write it in our notes pad. I can't do that. You'd be really cheating. All right.
So we'll just to clarify too, day 2 is considered to be top 8 for all events, and then top 16 for events with over 120 participants. So like Liverpool, Utrecht,
Oh man, this is a tough
EUIC, and Sao Paulo, top 16 would count.
one.
as,
Someone else is 3 for 3.
Yeah, 4 other people.
4 other people? Do we get a point for each person, I guess?
Yeah, we'll do a point for each
Yeah.
person you get right, and then we won't do multiple rounds for this, and we'll just sort of talk about
Dude, this is
a tough one.
It is.
Yeah.
I got one then for sure. Yeah, we can only guess 4 things, by the way, Speedy. You can't be guessing like 10.
Oh, I can't like shotgun
Yeah,
blast
yeah,
like
yeah.
10 guesses. Okay. Has played in 3 events
Dude,
and
there's
plays
that many
top
people
8.
that have 3 for 3?
It's pretty awesome.
Really? That's actually kind of wild that there's that many.
Yeah, it's surprising, isn't it?
Yeah.
Yeah, I'm surprised for sure. Huh.
We're gonna be checking those
I
YouTube
know.
comments. We better see some guesses here.
Yeah, dude. For real. Wow, I'm struggling on this 4th one too. It's tough without knowing which regions they're from as well.
Exactly. That's tough.
Oh. Huh.
Maybe we can give them the regions as a hint. Just
Nah, no hints needed.
Okay.
I got mine.
Wow. Okay.
I don't
okay,
need no
okay,
help.
okay.
All
right. All right, you got your 4?
Yeah.
You want to go first?
No, I mean I'm not gonna change my answers.
Well,
say
so
yours.
you want me to go first? All right. I'm gonna guess Rise, Status Stan, Max CP, and JW Naldo. You say your 4.
Okay.
My first 2 were the same actually. I
Okay,
picked
and Status
Rise
Stan. Okay.
and Status Stan. I also picked Wadaj.
No, you're wrong.
'Cause I think he's gone top 8 three times, right?
But
Oh no, there's 3 for 3.
yeah.
3 for
Oh,
3.
at the 3 events they've gone
Yeah.
to. Oh,
Yeah.
Yeah, there's
Yeah.
3 for 3. They have
I'm
100%
winning this
day
one.
2 rate.
All right. Well, who's your 4th?
100% day 2 rate.
Who's your 4th? You can't change your answer now. Come on now.
Yeah. Dude,
Well, that's just great, but I know he didn't fit this stat line.
I think this is accurate. Has Zardy gone to 3 events, or only 2?
Zardy has, but I know that's also wrong, unfortunately.
That's also wrong. All right.
I think he's
Yeah,
well then.
he just missed Top Cut this past
Ah.
weekend.
Oh
But
yeah, he didn't make
Okay.
top cut LEIC either, but he
Well,
did win at the other one. Yeah.
Those are my other 2, Zardy and Wadaj. So
All
I
right.
have Rise and Stan.
All right.
Rise and Stand.
Okay, well, Rise was correct.
Okay.
Okay.
So Rise was 3rd at Arlington, 5th at Orlando, and then
First in
obviously he
Knoxville.
won Knoxville.
Yeah.
Okay, so the other 2, right? The other 3, sorry. So 2 are actually from LATAM,
Oh.
and Caleb got one of them in JW Naldo.
Okay.
Nice.
So JW Naldo obviously won
dude,
LAIC.
it's Hard Jeffy. I should have known. It's Hard Jeffy, right?
Yeah.
Ah, dude,
Yeah.
I should have known. I should have thought about it. My
So
apologies, Hard
so
Jeffy.
JW Naldo won LAIC and topped in Natal, so he came 3rd, and also topped this last weekend as well, top 16. And Harjefi, like you said, he won the very first LATAM regional.
Mhm.
He was actually the very first Worlds qualifier from a regional because the LATAM event was only one day and it finished on the Saturday. So by the time,
interesting.
so he was the first person to qualify.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Intense.
I thought it was bad.
LAIC, he came 4th, and this past weekend as well, he topped as well.
Yeah.
Now the last one I didn't get, and I think Dijon didn't get as well. This was like okay, so this is European, and the last one is actually Inadequates.
Oh, very nice.
Yeah. So he topped at Lille. He came 3rd at Stuttgart, which is where he
I forgot about
qualified.
Lille.
And then EUIC, he top 16 as well.
Oh, yeah, he did go to Lille. I forgot how he did there. Oh, didn't he run like a Jelson at that one?
Yeah.
think so, yeah.
Jellison and Mandibuzz, I think.
Yeah,
it is,
because I had a feeling I feel like Stetson did make top cut like once or something, but like I just
Yeah,
couldn't
that I
remember
think
else.
that was actually Stuttgart, if I remember correctly.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay. Yeah.
It might have been Stuttgart. Yeah.
Okay.
I really feel like
this past weekend with the Shadow, Lowell, and Grimer, like 5th.
Yeah.
in Sao Paulo, kind of wild.
Yeah.
Man.
Wait, that was Hard Jeffy ran the Shadow Grimer.
Yeah, Shadow, Lowell, and Grimer.
230
Yeah,
players.
Dude, Butters would be
Guy is
disappointed in us.
insane.
He's his favorite player in our team, I think. And
That's true.
yeah, dude. All right.
Uh,
Well,
Alright, so
I'll
bonus
take 2
point.
points for that one and 1 point for Speedy. Yeah.
There's a bonus point here. All right. So who was the first person to complete the feat of having 100% day 2 rate in their first 3 events? So 3 for 3 in their first 3 events. Hint, they're not in the 5 we just listed. So there's someone who went 3 for 3 and then has
They're
competed
not
in other events.
like not
since.
including Axon nor the other 4 players.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
they've competed
So
in other
since then,
events since,
yeah.
and they haven't topped. But they went 3 for 3 to start the season.
Oh, they started 3 for 3 and then they didn't top cut
Yeah.
after that.
Yeah.
Oh,
But they're
one
actually
player,
the first
right?
person to 3 for 3 this season. Yeah.
I know it.
You know
Wait.
what?
Wait, hold on. Let me think. Wait, no, maybe I don't know it. Wait, let me. 3 for 3. Oh.
Yeah, back to back to back top 8s.
Yeah.
Wait. Hold on. How's that possible? So how are they? Oh, because they dropped on their 4th attempt, right? Is what you're saying?
Yeah.
Or
Yeah. So they're no longer 100% record anymore.
Yeah.
Dude. That's
So they can't go for the 4 for 4. That was like the way the
that-
question was posed at the beginning.
they had that at Wendy's, the 4 for 4.
Wait, that's actually a hard question. Wait, I thought I
Axon's
had it, but
nickname Wendy.
Speedy always with the fast food sponsor.
oh, I know it. I got it. I got my answer. I'm ready. I'm going second
Dude,
for sure. I'm going second.
I'm super lost on
I
this
got this
one. I'm
locked. I
thinking
got it
about
locked
it.
in. I already
Okay.
know. Dude, eventually, when I get older, I'm gonna forget all this stuff. But I'm literally just going everything off of recall of like what I've seen on streams.
Yeah.
Let's hear it.
No, I've noticed your recall during the cast as well. It's pretty strong.
Yeah, I know. All my exes hate it because I always bring up shit that
I'm
not
sure,
about.
dude. You're digging up all kinds of dirt.
Yeah,
Remember that one?
I don't forget nothing. Yeah, it's bad for relationships, but great for this stuff. Wait, you got a name? You should go first because you're gonna
Dude,
agree with me once I say it.
I'm blank right now.
You're gonna pass.
You want to take a shot?
Go on, throw out a name.
Yeah, I
fuck
gotta
that,
take.
right?
I have to at least take a shot, right?
Yeah.
3 for 3, and then they fell off in their 4th attempt
Mm-hmm.
and didn't.
I mean, it could have
top
been more than 4 too, right? Like, but yeah,
Yeah.
they no
Start of
longer
the
can go
season.
at 4 for 4.
Start of the season strong, fell off. Shoot, I really have no idea. Yeah, I guess I don't know. I guess I'll just pass.
All right, it's Hot Pocket. He lost to Onion Frank in Baltimore, won
So
Peoria, and he lost.
Dude.
I forgot who he lost to in Toronto.
Dude, why was okay?
And he got
I-
4th in Did he go to Arlington?
I don't.
It was
I don't-
Toronto.
No. Sorry,
Baltimore,
not 4th. Sorry,
Peoria,
his
Toronto.
4th tournament was they went to. It was
Oh, Knoxville.
Knoxville. Yeah.
Dude, I was thinking about-
33rd Knoxville.
I was thinking about trainers that started the season strong, and I was like, well, obviously, like Hot Pocket comes up there, but I was like, Peoria was so early in the season. I don't think he like, but he did compete after.
Yeah,
Peoria.
and then he
Yeah,
brought
and he
the Shadow
tops, too.
Drapion to Toronto. I remember he
Yeah.
was like, he had Shadow
I thought
Drapion jump
Speedy
up
was
in
going to
Toronto.
get it because Speedy wasn't Hot Pocket your pick for NA when
Yeah,
on the butter spot.
exactly.
I know,
I
dude.
know.
It just one in one ear out the other. I don't know.
I'm pulling away, man. 6-3 here. Let's go.
Pocket.
So some notable accomplishments that we should cover anyway is a few people who've gone consecutive, so 3 consecutive day 2s, but they don't have an 100% win rate or 100% day 2 rate. So Statistan, which was one of your picks,
Yeah.
he topped at Lille. No, he didn't top at Lille. Sorry, he topped at Stuttgart, Utrecht, and EUIC. But
For
he didn't top at
Liverpool,
Lille. So
Utrecht. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Not
yeah.
Liverpool.
Liverpool, Utrecht. Oh yeah, because Stuttgart didn't have top 16. Rick Flareon for OCIC, Perth, and Sydney, and he just missed top cut at Brisbane. So he could have been a 4 for 4. It was, very close one. And then Tonton Batus, who topped at Stuttgart, Liverpool, and EUIC, but also didn't top at Lille, his home
Damn, this is
country,
impressive.
I guess. Yeah,
Wow. Okay. All right.
some cracked battlers.
So I like
Yeah.
that.
For real,
Yeah.
consistent.
Dude, if we ever the vamp in a stream, like this should be like the stuff, right?
I know, like this is so.
Let's phone up Poly and Anicor here and be like, yo, drop us competition. Yo, me and Butters will go at it, right?
This is the meat and the potatoes.
exactly. The whole diet. Yeah. Nice.
Okay, so the next question. Now, which Pokemon have had at least 8% usage in every single event? So this is
usage?
No, 8%.
Oh,
at least 8%.
Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
So there's a few. There's
I guess you can tell them. We can say 7.
Yeah, there's 7.
There's
There's 7 that
Pokemon?
that have at least
from the
8%
beginning of this
usage
season?
from the beginning. Yeah. So
Okay,
this
every
includes
event,
all the move changes,
Okay.
all the meta shifts. They've consistently managed to keep above Spice Pick, I guess.
1 point each. Yo, Speedy needs every point here.
Well, I think maybe what we'll do here is we'll just alternate. Since there's 7, like you guess,
Sure.
he guesses,
yeah.
and if you get it right, you get a point, and we'll count. You know what I mean? But if you get it wrong, then we'll just keep alternating.
Okay.
So, who do you guys want to go first? Who's losing right now? Who's down?
Me,
Oh,
I'm
wait.
behind.
So if he says it right, then I don't get it. I can't say that same one.
Yeah, we'll do
Yeah.
go
Okay.
unique answers
Alright,
and just sort of
okay,
alternate
let's-
so you
I'm
get
cool
all
with
7.
Yeah, you could take one extra one. I'll spot you a point.
Oh, one extra one. Oh, okay. Let me
wait,
go with
wait.
whale.
But if he gets it wrong, then I get a chance to steal the point essentially, right?
Yeah.
Oh, dude,
yeah.
he's making up the rules. This is why.
What do you mean? I go through all 7 are selected, not 7
First
guesses
thing-
each. What do you mean?
The
There's
first
no guarantee
I'm letting you go
guys get 'em in
first.
7.
Yeah, I'm going.
I don't
I
think
might
it's
get it
gonna
wrong
be the-
too. I'm giving.
It's
I'm
not
giving
going to be
the
that
first
easy.
chance.
You
We
guys will
started
impress me
this.
if you get it in 7.
Yeah, all right.
That would be impressive.
Go
we
ahead.
started this with me asking that question, Folly. What is the question format? And that's why I asked it. You know,
Dude.
Caleb. I know you did.
All right, you
All
want to
right.
go first? What? You want me to go first?
All right, dude. Low hanging
8.
fruit. Whalmer. No, I'm just kidding.
No.
It's got to be.
Bro.
Medicham.
Medicham.
Medicham is one. Yeah.
All right, you got a point there. I'm going with Galarian Stunfisk. Gotta be Galarian Stunfisk.
Yeah. Obvious.
Yep.
Good
All
good
right.
pick.
You down?
Easy choice here. Trevenant.
Yep.
Another good pick. That's 3 for 7. 4 left.
Registeel? It's gotta be Registeel, right?
No.
Oh no!
Registeel is
dude, I had a
It's
feeling.
not one of
Dude,
them.
I had a feeling something was wrong.
But to your credit, there's only one event where
who
Reggie
messed it
Steel
up
wasn't
for it?
above 8%.
Which region?
So that was in
this?
Peoria. Peoria,
Oh, dude.
where it was 3.
Dude, I never had a great feeling about Pure in general, but
Yeah.
Dude.
So letting down. Yeah.
dang, you have a chance to steal a point here, dude. You're catching up,
Dude,
right?
this is
All right,
easy.
3 down.
It's Swampert.
Yeah.
Oh,
Yeah,
that's you,
That was one
really?
of them.
Easily, yeah.
8%. We have 4 down.
Yep.
3 more. It's gonna get
3
tough
more.
now.
Yo, 8% is a lot.
Yeah. It's not insignificant.
No. Let's go with Sableye.
Yeah. Sableye
Oh,
one. Yeah.
Dude, it's getting hard.
So 2 left. 2 left.
There's one
left?
there's one that's a huge bait. I already know, and I'm hoping you fall for the bait because I'm not going to.
You think I will?
I think you might. You might. We're running out of options here. You're going to fall for the bait eventually. I feel like.
Caleb's trying to will it to happen.
I see what you did there. I don't know. Let's see if this is the bait. I'm gonna say Azumarill.
No, that's correct. That's not
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Good job.
Oh man, dude, I can't believe you tied up to me. I was up by 3 points. That's crazy. Man, I'm the one up.
Dig deep.
I was like, run away with this. All right, 1 left. If I don't get this, then you just take it, right? I'm gonna go with. Ooh, this is tough. I'm gonna go with Altaria.
No.
No.
Altaria isn't one of them. Altaria also, though, only had 1 event where it dropped below.
Dude, don't tell me
8%.
it's also Peoria again.
No. It was Sydney this time. Yeah.
Oh, okay, that's fine. I got visit Sydney one day. All right, back to you, man. I haven't fallen for the bait yet. Maybe it's an obvious bait. I need to think because I feel like you're not getting this. I need to think. About another
So it's
option.
not. So actually, I was thinking about Altaria. I was.
Yeah.
Just
Is
one more
it-
left. You guys got 6 out of 7. So
I think I remember this being a factor even back in Baltimore, but it was a lot. See, it didn't appear much in the top 8, but I think it did get some usage below that. Is it Lantern?
No, it's not Lantern.
That was like Lantern.
Yeah.
That wasn't even a bait. That was like that was someone throwing a power punch and you think shielding a psychic, thinking is a psychic.
Yeah, I do that all the time.
I know.
Lantern actually was just the first part of the season. So before the wing attack buff, where there was multiple events where it didn't get above
perform.
8%. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Oh, all right.
Alright.
I'm gonna have to go with. Dude, it's getting tough. Alolan Ninetales.
Yeah.
Oh, let's
That was
go.
Good choice.
That was correct.
Still up by one.
And you
'Cause I was
avoided the
thinking-
bait as well. You
I avoided the bait was Noctowl in
Yeah.
my mind.
Yeah, that was always the bait.
Yeah, because
Yeah.
I was like, it was only Stark that really brought it to Baltimore. Like, there's no. I mean, there might have been like there's
No.
probably a couple regionals. That
Pocket
didn't
brought it to Peoria.
have- I
Pocket
know,
had
but
it
they were
too.
like the only ones, right?
Exactly.
Yeah.
Or
We had
not-
Arreo in Porto Alegre as well. I reckon Noctowl probably, I don't know if you have the stats, Polly, but like it probably performed well in comparison to the usage.
Oh
in
yeah.
multiple
Yes.
events, you know.
That was an early tech.
Yeah.
But because of that early performance by Arreo and Stark in that first weekend at Porto and Baltimore with the Noctowl, those are actually the only 2 events that didn't hit 8%. Even before the wing attack buff,
Yeah.
it was Bilbao and Baltimore that first weekend.
Oh, I'm actually surprised that it hit 8% on the subsequent ones too.
Yeah,
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think people recognize its anti-meta potential after
A9
seeing
was a
it well.
tricky one because I was thinking like when they buffed wing attack and nerfed charm. Or it's really when they nerfed charm, it definitely dropped in usage. But I feel like there was still
It was good
enough.
before that.
It was good before then, so I knew it was good before then. It was good when the Shadow came out, but there was like a few events like San Diego won them. But I remember I was like, man, I do remember that Bastion Gucci against Alolan Ninetales. There had to be something. for
Yeah.
Ninetales out
I
there.
I thought the Ninetales was the bait. Is what I thought.
Oh,
Yeah.
I guess around that time, like everyone just switched to Powder Snow instead.
yeah.
And so it like kind of
Except for
kept
Jonathan
up
Kelly.
Yeah, true.
Nice.
All right, what are we at score-wise?
9-8. I'm up by 1.
Ooh.
9-8.
Speedy is
Okay.
closing the gap though. I thought it was gonna be a piece of
Alright.
cake, but.
This was really more of a tiebreaker type question. You know
Oh,
what I mean?
really?
We ever had a
What's the
tiebreaker.
question out of curiosity though?
Do you guys know how many Pokemon there are? I was gonna have you both guess.
Wait, what do you mean? How many
Wait,
different
what?
Pokemon in the
What
top
do you mean?
How many
32?
Pokemon there are?
Oh, right.
Yeah,
Oh, okay.
Just in general?
Total?
yeah total.
Yeah, but what if we get it wrong? I mean, this is a.
Well, I was gonna have you like guess the number, right? Like make a number, and then whoever's closest wins.
Oh, okay, all right.
Oh,
I'll
okay.
let you. I'll let you take the first number, Speedy.
Oh, thanks.
Yeah.
It's 1,000 because Golden Go was the 1,000th Pokemon.
Dude,
I think Polly didn't give the wait.
was that where you're
that
asking
the
if all
question?
Pokemon released?
No, you guys
In
are
top
both supposed to
32,
guess a
right?
number, and then it's whoever's closest.
Wait, in top 32 or in existence in Pokemon existence?
No, just total. Yeah,
Oh, right.
total Pokemon. Yeah.
Oh.
Dude, what? Wait, why wouldn't I also guess Golden Go then? That logic does sound pretty sound.
You can either say, yeah, you have a 50-50 chance. You either say lower than 1,000 or higher than 1,000.
Damn, I can't say 1,000. This is like I feel like I set myself up for this trap. All right, you know what? I'll say 1,001. Maybe they had some DLC. Did they have some DLC content for? Oh wait, I think they
Oh,
did. Yo,
shit.
1,001 right here. Yeah, they had that weird form of Rizion, right, and a bunch of other stuff. 1,001.
The,
Yeah,
the paradox
Yeah,
forms.
the paradox forms. Gotta be more.
It is.
Dang
yeah,
it.
it's
Oh, let's
Yeah.
go. 10 8,
1,015.
baby. What? How many is there in total?
1,015 right now. Yeah.
Gotcha.
Wow.
Yeah, the paradox forms. Damn, one of them is Suicune, and that's my
Yeah.
favorite legendary beast. I should
Yeah.
remember.
It's not Suicune, though. It's a new
Oh, wow.
All right. I guess that's it for the quiz segment, right?
Yeah, Caleb.
Yeah.
You know,
Nearly
Another
edges
day.
out Speed.
another win. That's okay. You can keep your beard this time, Speedy. So.
Thanks.
No punishment. You got me worried though when you caught up. Okay. Well, anyway, to close out this episode, we usually talk about a tea segment. So we'll talk about what's a tea and stuff like that. So I'm gonna put it in your courts, Anicor and Poly here, because Speedy actually alluded to this earlier. After OCIC, I made a claim on Twitter. I was like, dude, the most dominant performance ever from GracoViz, right? And then a bunch of EU people came at me in the comments and were like, "What? Human textbook had to face harder trainers and blah blah blah."
They were
right?
so mad.
Yeah, they're mad. I was just like, dude. I mean, look, I'm just saying, like percentage wise, he had the highest win rate, right? So I'm gonna ask you two, right? Because I think me and Speedy and Butters had this segment ourselves, so we kind of threw our picks out there. Each of you get to only pick one person. Who do you pick as the current best player in the world? Right, so obviously Dancing Ramen and Mimita won Worlds, right? But who do you pick as the current, and what's the data you have to back up your claim? And also, obviously, if people at you at Twitter afterward, that's on you. So you gotta defend your claim properly.
Yeah.
Wait,
You also have to point out.
That's it?
You have to,
Like, that's
you have to
just
point
it?
out. Oh yeah.
Yeah.
Okay.
No, I was just
going
gonna
on.
cheese up. I was just gonna cheese onto that answer, but
Well,
yeah, I think
what's the
that's fair.
cheese? What's the cheese?
I was gonna say then you have to rank the regions from best to absolute garbage.
Oh, man.
Yeah, and then just crap on all the players from an entire region. Yeah,
Yeah, exactly. Crap on a quarter of the population.
yeah.
Bro, I'm gonna get deported from my new country. Like, this is
Oh, you're saying you're going to take that one?
I'll
Spoiler.
go there.
Yeah,
Oh man.
yeah.
Oh man.
You can only pick
It
one
is a
player.
tough question, man.
Yeah.
NA, EU. Caleb, are there any more parameters like who's the most clutch, who has the most wins?
No,
who's the most
just
consistent?
whoever they think is the best in the entire world. Just one person,
All right.
and you just have to justify why, because they have more data than anyone else, right? So they can
That's
say
true.
like, hey,
That's true.
or top cut performances, or highest win rate, or blah,
Yeah,
blah,
that's
blah.
the reasoning, right? That's
Oh man, that is tough.
I think I'm split between three. They're all from different regions as well.
Oh,
Oh,
Judge.
Yeah.
okay.
So
Covering
okay,
the
so
bases.
I think Saxon is like an obvious pick from NA, in it. Like that kind of feat, like topping 4 and also just like including last season's topping worlds as well, like consistently doing that well. And again, you're playing against different levels of competition every single tournament, adapting to different metas. And I think someone mentioned it on stream where he's, kept like relatively the same core throughout all his tournaments as well.
There's a counterpoint to that though. Some can argue that the tournaments he's done the best in are some of the smallest tournaments in NA. Too.
That is true.
Salt
Yeah.
Lake City, Vancouver, and
Yeah, I think Worlds outweighs it. Though. Do you know what I mean?
Oh, I'm just
Like,
throwing out there. I think he's great. I just think he's great.
Yeah,
but
yeah.
That would be the
I
counterpoint, right?
I mean, I thought about that as well, innit? But I think because of NAIC last year and Worlds, I think that kind of like outweighs the smaller tournaments a bit. Latam, I think is Hajefe. Like this guy again. So obviously he got his win from a small tournament, but then being able to top 4 LAIC. And then this last regional, so basically Sao Paulo was the biggest regional event we've had to date so far. And the only bigger event was EUIC. So Sao Paulo was like straight up the biggest regional event, and top cutting that as well with Shadow Alone and Grimer is just like, that's nuts, isn't it? And you watch his gameplay, it's insane. I was watching some of the games where I was so sure that he was going to lose. Yeah. And he just pulls a win out of the bag out of nowhere, And then Europe, like, I have to mention Varney. And
really,
the thing is, so the thing is, this season he's only competed at 2 events, so Bilbao and EUIC. Last season he competed at 3 events. So over the course of all 5 of those events, he's topped 4 of them. And one of them was EUIC, which is the biggest tournament we've ever had in Pokemon Go.
Okay.
So I think that's like, and then obviously if you consider like, his background in like the other like grassroots stuff
yeah.
and things like that.
Those
I
are
think
good.
he's a good contender for that. And I think the fact that we haven't seen him as much this season kind of like plays him out of people's minds. But then coming back to EUIC with a performance like that after having not competed for the whole season, I think that's arguable for you.
Okay.
Yeah.
He's Did you count of his performance from last season? Are you counting LCQ as well? Because I remember he was at LCQ.
Yeah.
Nice.
So LCQ, I think Lil and Bremen or something. I think Bremen he didn't top. Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, I'll give you a little time to narrow down out of those three which one's your top.
I like how you answered the question about best
top three. You're right. You might get the board because the fourth region.
Yeah, my bad.
All right,
I think I heard a knock on the door there coming up.
I like all of Anicor's answers actually. I think those are all.
This is why I wanted to go second, so you can't copy off of me.
No, I like all of his answers. I'm gonna intentionally try to name different people, and see. Now I'm saying like, it could be some of them too, So like, honestly, there's so many good people to name. I love all of Anicor's answers though. Like all three of those trainers are absolutely cracked. I think so. I'm also gonna name three. Let's see. So like, I think it is hard not to be impressed with what Rise has done in his three events. I mean, he's just like absolutely dominated. He's got like the second highest game win rate in like the entire world, and the other two in the top three, or no, sorry, JW Naldo has done three now too. Yeah. But like the only person higher than him is Human Catcher Bug, who's done two events, and so out of people who've done more than two, Rise has got the top, top win percentage as well. It's just like, that's an insane number, 78% game win rate. That's hard to argue with.
He also won
3 for 3 on day twos, won an event.
Yeah. GPLA winner, Human Catcher Bug recently too.
Yeah, it is hard. And I also play with him on Jim Breaker's Team USA, so I get to see, like how he battles and how he, thinks through stuff all the time. And he's
I got a question for you. Has Rise and Axon ever faced off in any tournament in Play Pokemon so far?
I don't know. I'd have to check.
Data.
I'd have to check the sheets.
Yeah. But who's the third? So you got.
So the other two that I was thinking of. Yeah.
Human Catcher Bug wasn't your second. Sorry, I misunderstood.
No, Human Catcher Bug is. Yeah.
Oh, okay.
So Human Catcher Bug is, because like he's also like 82% win rate is just insane. Like these people aren't just like winning tournaments; they're like dominating tournaments. And I don't know. I think these are also like very competitive tournaments, right? Like you look at the two events Human Catcher Bug went to, like. Liverpool and EUIC, like they're huge events. Like he is, consistently dropping 2-0s on people to have that high of a win rate. So that is incredibly impressive. Also seen he's like doing some YouTube content now and like he's top 10 in like the GPL Leaderboard. So like he's a crack battler. And then the third person that came to mind, with this question was Statistan. I don't know if there's a person I would not want to face more than Statistan. Like he's just been so good of late, he's like right up there in my mind. What was he finished? I think third, second, and third, in his last 3 EU events, and they've all been huge events.
Yeah.
He just looks so locked in every time he's on the stream. So, I think, I think between those three, and I guess if you really twisted my arm and made me pick one, I don't know. I'll go with the numbers. Human Catcher Bug, 82% win rate.
All right.
Okay.
Yeah.
All right.
I was gonna go with, out of those three, probably it's Saxon, just because of the GBL and GBLA stuff. Like I don't know what his GBLA specific history is, whether he's won a week or not.
No, that's just his first attempt, and he won. So.
Well, there you go.
Human Catcher Bug.
Right.
Catcher
No,
Bug.
I meant with
what about Axon?
Yeah.
Good question. Let me check the sheets. I'll tell you.
Hey man, I was
I
one
feel
for
like
one
being
too.
able to do.
It's true.
Until the playoffs, but okay. So you're gonna go with Axon. I got you.
Yeah, being able to do well in GBL and play Pokemon as well. Like, obviously, a lot of the skills are shared, but I think also a lot of the time dedication. Like if you're preparing for a regional, you might want to be playing more best of threes. So being able to put time into both and excelling in both, I think it's quite significant.
So Axon was in the tournament 5 times, and he won 2 of those 5 attempts.
Does that include playoff attempts too?
No, he won the whole week of the
No,
tournament.
yeah. So, but so out of those 5, does that include like end of season playoffs or
No?
Okay.
No, it doesn't.
Oh, that's good. I like that stat line. I'm 100% on that one too. Then
He won in season 6, season 4, season 3, as well as season 4, 6, and 3.
I don't even have a chance to ruin my record because getting back up to the top 8 is like pretty hard.
Crazy. Cracked battlers.
Yeah. All right. Okay. I like it. Well, for those that listen to the entire podcast, you know their top picks now. So I mean, I think to go to your point about Axon too, I don't know if you all watched the Portland regionals, but game number 4 against a Shady Equation, Axon versus Shady Equation in like the winners finals, it was like the most like I was like, there's no way he gets out of this well he led a knockdown to Trevenant, but he didn't have an answer to like the lantern, right? So he somehow lost alignment, and he had like it was like no way that he like wins that game, but then he somehow like does a crazy catch on like a thunderbolt onto his like low health knockdown or something. Or no, it was Sableye actually. That's what it was. Like literally like in backstage in production, Daniel Zaneri, our producer, he walked away because he's like, oh, it's over. He comes back, he's like, there's a game 5. I was like, dude, I don't know how. Like me and Butters were like literally ready to go and like commentate for the next sets, right? Because we were like back in Amit. We're like, yeah, dude, we're just like, I don't know how, but it's very good. I was a little bit of doubter for a while. Poly knows this because I talked about him about it, but no, Axon's legit. So
7 for 7, man. That's all.
Yeah.
Nobody else can say that.
Yeah, I mean, even if he doesn't make top cut in NAIC, like, dude, that's still a huge impressive feat. But top cut's easier to make, or easier because it's like a top 16, right? So
top 16.
I'd be shocked if he doesn't make top cut there. He's got to have like the hardest bracket in the world, I think. But I don't know. Anyway, but yeah, I mean, I think that's about it for our questions. Do you all have any final words or anything you want to share? And of course, also plug like where to find you all and stuff like that, both your personal accounts if you want to share that, but also DracoViz.
I mean, you can find us at DracoViz on Twitter, and then DracoViz.com on the web. And I just wanted to sort of shout out again the team, I guess, Anicor, myself, Dijon, who we didn't get a chance to mention earlier, but Dijon sort of just kind of doing everything, like helping out with web stuff, event page stuff, like helping out wherever he can. And then Shiny, who's sort of carrying a lot of the web dev stuff. So he's been absolutely amazing. And and then also kind of wanted to, shout out, I guess, like a lot of us, I know Anicor and I, feel this way. Like we're sort of behind the scenes people, in the community. Like we've been in and around Pokemon Go for a while. I've done a lot, over the course of my time, in the Pokemon Go community for other organizations and stuff. And, just kind of wanted to shout out, some of those other behind the scenes people, because that's who we are, some of the people who might not always get some of the headlines, at different things, but, like people like YTX Pikachu, Green Beef, Nero WX, they donate so much of their time and energy to providing data for various formats, whether it's Sylph, GBL, or Play Pokemon, of course. And then, we also want to shout out another, I guess, group that doesn't get a lot of recognition, which is like TOs and judges. Just as an example, like our local community, like Rocket Grunt, ATL, Chase, like he's did hosted a lot of Sylph events over, the last several years, and Chaotic Ace 2 and all the TOs in local communities for the grassroots stuff, and then also the play Pokemon judges. I think that's a huge category. That we just want to make sure we sort of highlight those people that are also behind the scenes, and sort of doing everything they can to sort of make these events happen, right? These events wouldn't happen without those kind of people, and I wanted to go through a quick list of them, because these are people who have done. This is not a comprehensive list, but people that have done multiple events, like Scrape and Pete, UUS, Hollow Purple, Need for Speedy, King IV, Tortoise 765, CCO for NA. And then for EU, Susie, Nexusilia, Leandro, Ivan Cien, Jintrax, and Aries, Latam, Praiser Chris, and some of the people that even this weekend, were able to do allow that awesome event in Sao Paulo run smoothly. Edu Maniac, Nagix, Enzo Satake, and then from Oceania, Rosario are 198 and Minor 751. Like I said, that's not a comprehensive list, but we just want to shout out some of those people who donate so much of their time. I mean, a lot of these people travel to multiple, events, and not to compete, but just to, help these things happen. And it's important to have experienced judges. I mean, it's like I said, we also feel like very much sort of behind the scenes people. We just want to make sure we acknowledge, all the amazing work that they do.
Yeah, I think off the back of that as well, like with most games, like when you see like good development in games, obviously like, a majority of it can come from like the developers, but a lot of it does come from just people who are doing like free work, who are just like really into the game, making websites like the kind of website that we're trying to make, or even people who are just doing like, like YouTube content and stuff like that. So I really do feel like, as much as we like try and get Niantic to like step in with certain things, I feel like a lot of the development, and like you guys will also attest to this as well, a lot of the development, like with Play Pokemon specifically, you can see it has all just been like kind of like community, like development from the community, whether it's like members of the community pitching in, or like like Daniel going onto the working on the streams and stuff like that. But like looking at how the tournaments were last year, like a year ago, even just looking at like the first tournament in Liverpool, where we didn't even have like flipping those like barriers in front of phones, isn't it? So you would just look at the other person and be like, oh, okay, rock slide, to now, it's like the improvement's been huge, and again, it's not necessarily been like Niantic who's been doing it, it's everyone else who's like it's like working with it and putting in their time.
Yeah, no, for sure. I mean, and you guys as well too, right? I think like content like this is really important for the community. I feel like it's kind of like an analogy I make is kind of like PV Poke, right? Like no one necessarily asked for a simulation website and stuff like that, but that like changed the landscape of PvP, right? Like imagine if like there's never been a PV Poke website, dude. Like I mean, I feel like someone would have came along, but like it wouldn't be what we have, might not be what we have, that Kakuna makes, but like that just changes. Like that changes like what people use and like their game knowledge and all that stuff too, right? And so I think you all do,
and like making that a free resource as well.
Yeah, free resource,
huge as well,
Exactly.
Top guy.
Yeah, no, for sure. A great guy too, and thank you all too for all the work that you do. I know both of you for being here, but also the different people you all named on your team that are putting out all this content, because even if it may seem like a sports game stuff and you got your snacks ready, like you're still like doing work, right? Like you're still like
working.
You're still working. Like these graphics don't come out of nowhere, right? Like the stats and like the website and everything. So it's really cool to see, and hopefully, especially after this one, but even as more events come by too, hopefully more people check out the website and see like what there is, and even not even just the website, the Twitter itself too is really cool, just to like pull up the teams too.
I think my goal is like by Worlds. I don't know how you guys felt, but like last Worlds, particularly the Asian competitors, we just didn't really know anything about them. Like a lot of the names I saw for the first time.
Right.
There's this Japanese player, Danka. Yeah. I thought he was a German player. So I was like,
sounds German.
Thank you. Who just arrived out of nowhere.
His name means thank you.
Right. So hopefully this year it will be different, where going into Worlds, everyone will be aware of every single competitor, how they qualified, the team they used, their general history. That when you go in there, you're going to see this name and you're going to be like, oh yeah, I remember him from the this tournament.
Yeah. Okay. Awesome. Well, for those that if you've been listening this far and you still can't keep track already, it's DracoViz.com to check out their website. Not Dracometrics. That one does not exist.
We should buy up Dracometrics.
Yeah, you should. You really should.
Just redirect.
You got 2 days before the podcast drops, just in case any competitors decide to rip you all off. And they're ripping me off too, I guess. But and then DracoViz on Twitter as well too. Great graphics that you all put out. I mean, and a lot of it too, like you all just like tweeting out live updates, which is really cool to see as well.
Yeah.
But yeah, and my only last request for you two as well, the DracoViz team, is if you all need any more data points to analyze, myself and Speedy, we did some battles at UIC that feel free to put in some data points for us there too. 2-0 against Speedy there. So
grab those from the files.
Yeah.
That one's going straight on metrics.
Yeah. It's, Draco metrics should be all the matchups. Yeah. But anyway, thank you all for joining in. I hope those at home listening enjoyed the episode as well. Thank you for those that participated in the little mini game we did too. We'll look over your response to see how many you got right. I think I had a total of 9 points. Oh, but I guess it kind of varies because we had the back and forth stuff. But anyway, let us know what you all thought about the episode. And also let me know, are you team DracoViz or are you team Dracometrics, right? I know it's too late to change the name, but I will do a tally and send it over to Poly and Anicor and see just, am I really just in my own head here, or do I know what I'm talking about for branding? But yeah, that wraps about it. We'll catch you all next week, where Speedy will be eating a spicy hot chip and crying his eyes out.
Don't miss it.
All right. Have a good one.